Pierre Chauvineau. I've been in medtech and digital health for over 30 years, working in small and large companies, from the entrepreneurship to the leading large teams across many different countries. And today I'm a non-exec, meaning I have made a personal decision to do about 50% work, 50% personal time. And so I work as a non-exec director, either as a chairman or as a board member in 4 companies. And I'm advising about 4 other companies. I'm also doing mentoring, coaching, and I'm also a representative in a foundation, so I can give back a bit to the patients and help them out. Yeah, so I think so there are one which is very indigenous to the healthcare system, and especially medtech. It's called MDR, and you all know what that means. It's a new regulatory situation in Europe, and that has been very much influencing how innovation is now made and done in Europe. And many of our young companies, startups, are now moving to the US instead of really innovating and developing in Europe. The second one I will note is COVID, that has had a huge impact on the uptake of digital health mainly, and has changed the mentalities and the way that people think about healthcare. And the third one is the VC community, historically in Europe, especially in Switzerland where I live, has been very focused on early stage companies. And what I see is some of the large VCs of Europe have now developed into bigger VCs with larger funds and more strategic investments. So I see that as a very positive development, even though we are still missing the VCs in between Series B and D and F. Let's say it like that. So another big trend I see is that in terms of funding, the VCs have a difficult time taking more risk as we speak, because the macro challenges are so driving and permanent, or they come across the VCs and their behavior. And what happens is the VCs invest in their own portfolio and try to de-risk their own portfolio. And what I see is many good companies are not getting the right funding because those VCs are not, unless the company is exceptional and has a great business case, and it's like almost the magical company, then they come and invest outside of their current portfolio. Otherwise, it's a real challenge to get money for new companies outside of their portfolio. So the future is what I see today. In fact, it's the reality, it's the present, and probably the next few years. I see that MDR has changed the mentality a lot. And I see a lot of startups going directly to the US. They don't care anymore about even getting CE mark or reimbursement in Europe. So that is a really, really big driver. So what I like to see change is, of course, that the MDR should really change, ideally, in order for that to evolve. And the last one, which is really highly critical, is the reimbursement piece. One of the big challenges of Europe is not only you need to get the CE mark, but you also need to get reimbursement for every one of the countries. Whereas when you go to the US, you have one go for, of course, FDA approval, and then you have to go back to get reimbursement, but it's for the whole country. So my number one recommendation will be find smart money. What I mean is find the investors who can not only bring the money, but can bring you the competencies, the advice, and the network. The second advice is about testing your idea very quickly towards your potential customers. The worst thing that you can do is develop an idea without getting the traction and the test done by your potential customers. So make sure you go see them and see how your product meets their needs. Third advice is about board composition. And my advice here is you need to compose your board with diversity in terms of gender. I think, men and women bring different skills to the table. Competencies, make sure that you don't surround yourself only with your investors, because that's a big risk. You need to invest yourself with the competencies and the talents that will bring the company to the next level. So what Tech Tour has brought to me is the network. Thanks to the Tech Tour events, I've been able to really enlarge my networks in terms of investors, strategics, and looking at the startups that I'm really interested in, and looking at the quality of the team, because we could really meet everyone individually at the event. So my wish for the 25-year anniversary of Tech Tour is that you keep finding the best startups, inviting them, and grow the ecosystem. Thank you for doing that for 25 years.